You stand at the edge of a frostbitten fjord, the wind clawing at your skin like a hungry wolf, carrying whispers of a tale so wild it could wake the gods. You're here for a story of a Viking Berserker, a man born from chaos whose life was a storm of blood, desire and untamed fury. Before you settle into the shadows of this saga, carve your mark, share this tale. Shout your village's name in the comments and tell the stars what hour binds you to this moment. Dim the hearth's glow, let the night's hum wrap you like a cloak, and step into a world where madness is a gift. You feel the weight of it already, don't you? The pull of a life that doesn't whisper, it roars. You were born screaming, not with the frail cries of a babe, but with a bellow that shook the longhouse's timbers. Your fist, tiny and defiant, punched the air as if challenging Thor himself. The midwife, her hands trembling, swore you howled for 7 minutes straight, a record that made the village elders mutter of omens. Your mother, her eyes fierce with pride and fear, clutched you close, her breath hot against your red, snarling face. The priest tried to bless you, but your teeth already sharp with destiny nipped his finger, drawing blood that stained the furs. The room fell silent, save for the crackle of the fire, and your relentless wail, a sound that promised you'd never bend to the quiet of this cold, hard world. You were no ordinary child. You were a spark in the dark, a blade born in flesh, and the village already felt the tremor of your coming. You're barely crawling, yet the village already knows your name, not with affection, but with the wary respect one gives a storm. You don't coo like other babes, you growl low and guttural, as if the wolves in the forest taught you their tongue. Your eyes, sharp as flint, glare at the thatched roof, like it's an enemy to be conquered. The family goat, once bold, now flees at the sound of your cries, which echo through the longhouse like a war horn. Your mother, her hands rough from weaving, calls you bear cub, her voice a mix of love and dread. Your father, nursing a bruised shin from your tiny, furious kicks, mutters to the neighbours you'll grow out of it, but his eyes betray his doubt as he binds another wound. By the time you're toddling, you're a force of nature. You headbutt a hearthstone, leaving a crack in the stone and a grin on your blooded face. You bite a sheep not out of malice, but because its wool dared to stand in your path. Your shadow flickering in the firelight becomes your first foe. You chase it, fists swinging until you tumble into the dirt, laughing like thunder. The village children play with wooden horses. You snap yours in two, wielding the halves like axes, screaming at trees until your voice cracks. You challenge a rock to a duel, your tiny roar echoing across the fjord. Your cousin tackles you mid-bellow, pinning you down, but it takes a wooden spoon and 3 grown men to pry him off. Your parents watch, torn between pride and panic as you rise undeterred, your eyes burning with a hunger for chaos that no child should know. The village whispers, this one's different. This one's dangerous. You feel the rough grain of the wooden animal in your small hands, its carved eyes staring back with silent defiance, and in a surge of raw, unbridled energy you snap it clean in half. The crack echoes like a bone breaking in a brawl, splintering wood flying as you imagine it, a foe's spine yielding under your grip. Blood rushes hot through your veins, a sensual fire igniting in your chest, the thrill of destruction as intimate as a lover's touch in the dead of night. You wield the halves like jagged blades, thrusting them at invisible enemies, your breath coming in heated gasps that fog the chill air. The village watchers whispers slithering like serpents through the crowd, spirited, they say, or cursed by some ancient grudge from the gods. You're not allowed near the mead barrel anymore, not after that fevered night when you sank your teeth into its handle, tasting the bitter oaken iron, ripping it free in a violent tug that spilled golden liquid like blood from a wound. You were 4, yet your strength already hinted at the beast within a force that could topple men or stir forbidden desires in those who dared get close. The shaman, his eyes shadowed with intrigue, insists the fire in your blood is no mere fever. It's the mark of Odin's fury, or perhaps a darker pact sealed in your mother's womb. Your grandmother, ever the skeptic, blames worms wriggling in your gut, but even she crosses herself when you pass her tales of old curses, adding layers of mystery to your growing legend. You laugh at thunder, the booming cracks vibrating through your body like a lover's heartbeat against your skin, and you carry a stick you name Enemy, whispering threats to it under the moon's pale gaze. It doesn't respond, but in your mind it quivers, a silent betrayal waiting to unfold. In this land of stoic fishermen and quiet survivors, you whirl like a tempest, shirtless and wild, your skin prickling with the cold's bite, a promise of scars to come. You're not for the plough or the net. You're forged for the frenzy. The village senses it, their fear laced with a twisted admiration, as if your chaos could one day save them or doom them all. You sense the shift in the air, thick with the scent of smoke and sweat, as the village adapts to your storm-like presence. Neighbours hammer reinforcements into their fences, the clang of metal on wood, a rhythmic warning, their eyes darting toward your family's longhouse where chaos brews. The local boys scatter like leaves in a gale, avoiding your path lest they taste the violence of your play tackles that bruise ribs, headbutts that split skin drawing blood, that mingles warm and metallic on your tongue. Girls whisper from afar, their giggles hiding a spark of intrigue, one bold enough to dub you Goat Rainer, before you charge, slamming her into a snowdrift, the cold powder exploding around you like a lover's embrace gone savage. You emerge victorious, the name Snowbreaker etched into your legend, worn like a scar from a passionate clash, proud and throbbing. Your only true companion is Thoric the sheepdog, his fur rough and warm against your side, following you with loyal eyes that save you from your own reckless impulses. Like that day you scaled the fish-drying scaffolds, muscles burning with a sensual strain, the wood creaking under your grip, until you slip crashing into a pile of salted haddock, the briny stench clinging to your skin like a forbidden secret, lingering even in the rain's caress. Elders murmur of sending you to the temple for guidance, but the priests decline their refusal, laced with fear of the intrigue you carry, a boy who might unravel their sacred threads with a single roar. So you remain a whirlwind of mud, and splinters your body, a canvas of scrapes that sting deliciously half-healed wounds, whispering tales of battles yet to come. No one dares teach you restraint. The village knows you're no farmer's son, you're a problem brewing, a force of raw desire and fury that could ignite alliances or betrayals pointed someday at enemies beyond the fjord's misty veil. You plunge into the heart of Viking childhood, where others learn the steady arts of survival, knotting ropes that bite into your palms like a lover's grip, building fires that dance with hypnotic flames, or treading carefully around livestock whose eyes hold ancient grudges. But you specialise in the art of accidental chaos, a whirlwind of destruction that leaves the village breathless. Your first wooden sword, handed to you with a father's hopeful grin, shatters within the hour, not from disciplined swings against a post, but from a wild arc during breakfast, crashing into a support beam, with a crack that echoes like thunder, the house groaning and wobbling as if the earth itself trembles beneath your fury. Your father sighs deep and resigned, his calloused hand steadying the timber, while you stand there, sword fragments in hand, feeling the rush of power surge through you like a forbidden touch in the dark. Banned from the chicken pen time and again, what starts as innocent curiosity spirals into savage ambition. You try to train the birds. Your voice a guttural command that scathes the air, then challenge the rooster to single combat feathers, flying in a visceral storm as beaks peck and claws rake. The rooster emerges victorious, its crow a mocking triumph, but you declare a rematch, vanishing into the fray. When the dust settles, the bird is gone, and you braid a single feather into your hair, wearing it like a trophy from a bloody conquest, the plume tickling your skin with memories of the clash. At 6, you craft a shield from a broken barrel, lid its rough edges scraping your arms as you charge the family's drying racks, clothes exploding in a chaotic flurry, fabrics tearing with a sound like flesh yielding to a blade. Your mother, her eyes flashing with storm-like intensity, calls you a storm in human form, while your grandmother whispers of possession by a warrior spirit, her tales weaving intrigue that clings to you like smoke. You claim you just wanted to test what breaks first, you're the pole, and as the wood splinters under your assault, you know the answer. Your body aching with the sweet pain of victory, not malicious but energetic, loud and fast, pushing everything that stands, hitting what cracks, chasing what moves in a dance of raw, untamed desire. You prowl the village edges, your presence a shadow that stirs unease, the air thick with the scent of pine and fear as neighbours bolt their doors. By 8 they've stopped questioning what's wrong with him and started plotting how do we unleash him on our foes. Your glare at thunderstorms a challenge, eyes locked on the sky's fury as lightning cracks your body, tensing like a coiled serpent ready to strike. You don't run, you charge, splashing through puddles that explode under your feet, crashing through fences with a visceral snapwood, splintering against your skin in a rush of pain and exhilaration. Your appetite rivals Saga's devouring meals, like a beast preparing for eternal winter. Even in summer's warmth, at one feast you consume 3 boiled eggs, 2 fish cakes and gnaw on a table centrepiece before anyone notices the flavours bursting hot and savoury on your tongue. Then you turn to a ladle, its metal cool and unyielding as you bite down. Your body maps a tale of bruises and splinters, each mark a badge from skirmishes with the world, yet none slow you. The healer, weary of your visits, pats your back and advises aim for the soft parts next time, his touch lingering like a wary ally's. Your laugh erupts, not joyful, but a deep chest rumbling thunder that scares even you, born, after tumbling from a roof, breaking a barrel, a crate of onions, and your arm with cracks that echo like bones in a brawl, declaring it the best day amid the agony. You heft sticks like oars, naming them Skull Tickler or Stick of Pain, dueling trees until bark flies and trunks bear scars from your assaults. Chores fail spectacularly, patience lessons, igniting fires, a bench, once your tunic, another the flames licking your skin with a seductive heat before you discard it forever. Elders whisper in awe and concern, labelling you berserker born, touched by Odin or cursed by goat milk. No longer a child, but an untrainable force. Unshakable, scattering wolves and birds, with your mere stride becoming the nightmare Norse mothers invoke to hush their young. You charge into the fray of daily life, your body a vessel of unquenchable hunger, devouring feasts with the ferocity of a wolf, tearing into prey, the juice is hot and slick on your lips. Even in summer's abundance, you eat as if winter's famine claws at your throat, stacking logs of bread and slabs of meat until your belly swells like a drum ready to burst. At one raucous gathering, your hands plunge into the spread, snatching 3 boiled eggs whose yolks ooze like blood from a fresh wound. 2 fish cakes, flaky and steaming, and then unseen by the crowd. You gnaw on the table's centrepiece, its fibres crunching under your teeth, before a shout halts you only to pivot to a ladle, its metallic tang sharp and defiant on your tongue. The village erupts in wary laughter, but you press on your appetite, a legend whispered around fires, a force that could sustain armies or spark betrayals over scraps. Your flesh tells tales of battles won and lost. A roadmap of bruises blooming like dark flowers under your skin, splinters embedded deep like secret daggers, each one a visceral reminder of your unyielding charge. Yet pain is but fuel. An arrow's graze draws a trickle of blood that you lick away with a growl, the coppery warmth igniting your veins. The local healer, his poultices smelling of herbs and earth, abandons tallying your wounds, opting for a pat on your scarred back. Try the soft parts next time. He mutters his touch, lingering with a mix of awe and caution. Your laugh booms, a full-throated rumble born from terror and thrill, echoing after a roof fall that shatters barrel onions and bone, the cracks resounding like enemies felled, declaring it life's pinnacle amid the agony's embrace. You brandish sticks as battle staves, naming them Skull Tickler or Stick of Pain, their weight sensual in your grip as you duel trees' bark flying in shreds, some trunks yielding to your onslaught like lovers succumbing in the night. You sense the elders' gazes heavy with a brew of awe and dread, their whispers coiling like smoke from a sacrificial fire, debating your essence, berserker-born Odin's touch searing your soul, or a curse from too much goat milk's frothy deceit. No longer a mere rambunctious whelp, you're a enigma untrainable and unshakable, your presence scattering wolves with a growl that rumbles from your chest like thunder's intimate rumblebirds, fleeing as if your shadow carries the Allfather's ravens. You're the bogeyman Norse mothers invoke, a harbinger whose journey simmers with promise of blood-soaked glory and treacherous pacts yet to unfold. At 10, the village thrusts you into formal training, no volunteer eager, until Gore the limp, one-eyed veteran, scarred from raids, steps forward, boredom or vengeance fueling his grunt. Gore's lessons unfold from afar, 20 feet of safe distance, his shouts piercing the air. Swing harder, less teeth, more axe! As you flail at straw dummies, their stuffing erupting like innards in a gutting tree trunk, splintering under your assault. An errant chicken meeting its end in a feather-strewn frenzy. Form eludes you. Instead, momentum surges, a blind confidence, akin to arm wrestling or weathered oak, your muscles straining with a sensual burn. Weapons start dull, a practice axe, more spoon than blade, but you hone it on a rock, the stone yielding in sparks that kiss your skin. Gore upgrades to heavier iron, and you thank him mid-sentence with a swing that sends his drinking horn tumbling into flames, the fire's heat licking upward like a lover's breath. He nods approval. You'll go far as you charge hay bales, screaming at birds, forging not swordplay but a passionate bond with chaos, your body slick with sweat. Every strike a step toward the intrigue of berserking's dark allure. You step into the clearing, the ground slick with dew and the air heavy with the scent of pine and impending storm as your reputation swells like a tide crashing against the fjord's jagged rocks. Known across 3 villages as that loud boy who headbutts things, even a farmer swears you terrified his scarecrow into retirement, its straw frame wilting under your glare. The rite of passage beckons the bearskin ceremony shrouded in mystery, no whispers revealing its savage heart. One dawn Gore the limp grunts, thrusting a bucket of goat blood into your hands, its warmth seeping through the wood, viscous and iron-tanged, murmuring, "You'll need this." Excitement surges unhinged and foaming your pulse racing like a lover's breath in the dark as he leads you deep into the forest, where 5 hulking men circle a roaring fire, their bodies shirtless, scarred like maps of forgotten battles, muttering incantations that slither through the trees. The ritual ignites runes painted on your chest with the bloodstrokes firm and deliberate symbols, invoking courage, strength, or perhaps a plea. Please don't bite me, your skin tingling under the sticky warmth, fighting the urge to sneeze as the metallic scent fills your nostrils. Then, the bearskin descends enormous and reeking of death's embrace, draped over your shoulders like a heavy, hairy prophecy, its weight pressing against you fur coarse and alive with the ghost of the beast slain in honourable combat or felled by your own feral aura. The fire crackles, elders chanting in deep, guttural Norse grunts, blending with words as they hand you a horn of something alcoholic and spicy, suspiciously potent. You down it in one gulp, a mistake that sends your eyebrows fleeing, vision blurring in a haze of fire and desire. Now you dance not with grace, but violently stomping like a thunderstorm's tantrum, howling as arms wave wildly, bees chasing in your mind, becoming the bear in a frenzy that teeters on the fire's edge, flames licking close enough to singe your skin. The ceremony climaxes, bestowing your new name, Wolf Liver Ulfa's Scream, or something lost in dizziness, but it seals you as a berserker in training, enemies quaking at the fur's growl echoing through the woods. You don the junior berserker's mantle, the bearskin cloaking you in wet thunder's musk, initiating the sacred pre-battle rituals centered on mushrooms, not stew's humble fungi, but those that shatter reality, urging roars at clouds pregnant with storm. Handed a fistful, the elders command, chew fast, and you obey the taste of moss goat sweat and shame exploding on your tongue like a betrayal's bitter kiss. Vision vibrates within moments, the fire whispering riddles that twist your mind, a burp nearby, booming like a war horn readying you for the berserker trance, tapping your inner beast, a confused elk with boundary-defying horns, grinning and growling as muscles swell with molten iron and reckless impulses, a sensual heat coiling through your veins. A training dummy emerges, straw-stuffed and defiant. You charge without command, tackling it to the earth, teeth sinking into its neck with a rip that scatters fibres like blood spray, elders nodding, impress. Yep, he's got it. Drawbacks creep in, time warp, screams stretching from seconds to hours, punching shadows that duck, mockingly accusing the ground of treachery in a voice raw with frenzy. Exhaustion claims you mid-sprint face-planting into a fish barrel, the slimy scales clicking to your skin, reeking of sadness and seawater for days. Yet the ritual triumphs. Not all berserkers mushroom-bound, some fast meditate or harness rage from unresolved traumas, but you thrive on hallucinogenic lightning, dubbing it brain lightning unchallenged. The aims transcend humanity, become storm incarnate, terrifying foes before your axe falls. Retreating forgotten in frenzy's grip, making you special dangerous. A babysitting nightmare now unleashing the tempest within. You awaken to the dawn's cruel bite, the air thick with the promise of violence. A single thought pulsing through your veins like molten iron. Today carnage calls, and it whispers your name with a lover's urgency. No breakfast sustains you. Excitement crushes your meal underfoot. Crumbs scattering like defeated foes, but you devour the ritual mushrooms, their earthy bitterness, a familiar vice now a staple in your gut's rebellious kingdom. The pre-battle dance erupts, not elegant steps, but a collective roar while hopping in place, your axe swinging wildly, until a comrade's shout reminds you allies aren't prey. You grunt apology, headbutting a helmet instead, the clang resounding like a betrayed kiss progress in your untamed world. As enemies crest the horizon, the world tunnels to a pinpoint of fury, screams yours, perhaps ripping the air your grip on the axe so fierce the handle splinters, drawing blood that slicks your palm warm and intimate. Eyes rolling back in ecstasy's edge, Gore whispers, "He's ready," and frenzy engulfs you. A charge not walked or jogged but hurled forward, legs surrendering to instinct, leaping, roaring, flailing with walrus on fire grace efficiency, a grudge-bearing tornado. Pain dissolves, an arrow grazes your flesh, a superficial kiss you repay by biting a tree bark, crunching under teeth. A spear thrusts near you, high kick its wielder's knee with a crack like breaking bone, the agony's echo fueling your advance. Tackling two men, their bodies yielding under your weight grunts. Mingling in a visceral tangle, you forget their faces in the red haze, becoming every Viking's nightmare incarnate berserk, gang, rage-fueled, adrenaline-soaked impulse. Unbound divine possession or psychological shatter, you dub it Tuesday amid throat-raw screams, arms numbing from ceaseless swings, unreachable even to comrades who pat your back with shields, to signal end only for you to hurl a log in retort, a compliment in your chaotic tongue. Dust settles, battle's corpse-strewn, you stand, barely coated in blood's sticky warmth. Bruises throbbing like illicit cresses, helmet shards tangled in your hair. Stares pierce you silent awe. You blink, muttering, good warm-up, sealing your berserker oath. You stride onto the battlefield, the sun glinting off your exposed skin, a deliberate vulnerability that mocks the armoured fools around you, mail helmets, boiled leather strategically placed, while you cloak in fur, spit, and unyielding optimism, a leather strap around your wrist for flair, not defence. Berserkers shun armour. It's for those who anticipate strikes, cowards planning retreat, but your creed terrifies enemies into flight or submission before blades clash, a psychological blade sharper than steel. If a blow lands, it's your failure etched in memory, invoked passive-aggressively, at feasts amid mead's haze, a grudge nursed like a secret affair. Freedom reigns supreme. Armour weighs like chains clinging restrictively, hampering your wild flails, the essence of berserker combat. 80% frenzy's dance, 10% biting with teeth sinking into flesh's yield, 10% rolling through flaming bushes, heat kissing your skin in ecstatic burns. Helmets blind such chaos. Your bearskin cloak, sacred and reeking of burnt ham and regret, absorbs enemy fear or wards steel in mythic whispers, mostly soaking rain transforming you into an angry rug, escaped from sagas haunting coastlines with inhuman snarls. Body becomes bastion, calluses forge where shields falter. Scars narrate tales of violence's intimate embrace. Bruises constellate like stars guiding your rage. Committed you tattoo a wolf on your chest with ash and sharp stick, poor decisions fueling the pain's seductive throb. Arrows sting blades carve marks that weep blood warm and vital, but to you, pain signals life once stabbed in the leg unnoticed until pointed out leaking crimson like a lover's secret revealed. You thank the observer, hurling a rock at the assailant with a crack of skull. Warriors scoff at your naked defence until witnessing you fell 3 with a wooden spoon's thrust, and a scream that shatters morale, then they retreat scoffing from afar. Armour overrated. You wield rage fur and consequences fearless void. You delve deeper into the berserker's sacred haze, the air thick with the earthy tang of forbidden fungi as pre-battle rituals unfold like a lover's secretive embrace mushrooms, not for sustenance but for shattering the veil between man and madness, roaring at clouds that swirl with ominous intrigue. The elders thrust a fistful into your palm, their command chew fast, echoing like a betrayal's whisper. You comply, the flavours assaulting your senses, moss, damp and clinging goat sweat, salty and primal shame, bitter as unrequited desire. Within moments your vision pulses the fire's flames, murmuring riddles that twist your thoughts, a comrade's burp blasting like a war horn summoning ghosts from the fog. The Berserker trance descends, tapping the beast within a bewildered elk, crashing boundaries its antlers sharp as deceitful promises. You grin ferally, growls rumbling from your throat, as muscles ignite with molten fury and impulsive recklessness, a sensual blaze coursing through your flesh. A dummy appears straw-bound and mocking. You lunge unbidden, tackling it with bone-jarring force teeth sinking into its neck, ripping fibres in a spray akin to arterial blood, elders murmuring approval. Yep, he's got it, their eyes gleaming with shadowed plots. Yet shadows lurk, time distorts screams elongating into eternities, shadows evading punches with taunting grace the ground accused of treachery in your frenzied roars. Exhaustion strikes mid-charge face, slamming into a fish barrel, slimy scales caressing your skin, the stench of sorrow and brine lingering for a week like a curse's mark. Success crowns the right, though not all berserkers chase hallucinations. Some starve their bodies, meditate in silence, or unearth rage from buried wounds. But you flourish in this psychedelic storm, naming it brain lightning, unchallenge the goal, transcending mortality. Less. Man, more tempest foes quaking before your axe descends, retreat erased in frenzy's grip, rendering you exceptional, perilous a guardian's nightmare, now mastering the inner gale. You awaken on battle's eve, the air charged with blood's metallic promise. A singular urge throbbing through you, violence beckons like a siren's call, seductive and savage. Breakfast crumbles under your excitement's crush, but mushrooms fuel you, their caps underside, veined like secret maps of betrayal, ingested as a core sustenance. The dance commences not graceful, but a shouting horde, hopping in unison, your axe whirling until rebuked for near-allied strikes. You grunt remorse, headbutting a helmet with a resonant clang, progress amid the frenzy's intimate pull. Enemies loom, the world, narrowing to rage's tunnel, screams yours, tearing the veil axe gripped until wood fractures, blood slicking your hand, warm and vital. Eyes rolling in ecstatic surrender, gores whisper, he's ready, unleashes the berserk gang, charging with primal abandon legs, instinct-driven, leaping, roaring, flailing like a blazing walrus efficiency, a vengeful whirlwind. Pain vanishes. An arrow's graze draws crimson beads you repay by gnawing a tree bark, yielding bitterly. A spear thrusts you shatter its owner's knee with a high kick's crunch bone splintering viscerally. Tackling duo-foes' bodies entwining in brutal intimacy, their identities lost in red mist. You embody Viking terror, a state of rage, adrenaline, and unchecked impulses, divine seizure or shattered psyche to you mere Tuesday. Throat raw from ceaseless bellows, arms numb yet swinging, comrades dare not approach one shield. Pats your back, signalling cease earning a hurled log as tribute. Dust clears, you teeter encased in blood's congealing embrace bruises, pulsing like lovers' marks, helmet fragments adorning you. Stairs surround. You blink rasping, good warm-up, berserker forged in carnage's fire. You charge into the fray battles, etching truths into your scarred flesh, the glaring absence of armour, a bold defiance amid comrades clad in chainmail's clinking embrace. Helmets shadowing eyes, boiled leather guarding vulnerabilities like jealous lovers. You, however, bear your form in fur's wild drape, spit-flecked and optimistic. A lone strap coiling your wrist for aesthetic flair, not safeguard. Berserkers eschew such burdens. Armour suits those anticipating defeat, plotting hits like cowards, scheming betrayals. Your ethos terrify foes into flight, or horse surrender before steel sings a gaze that pierces souls, unravelling morale in psychological onslaught. Should a blade kiss your skin, carving hot trail of blood, it's your lapse. Harboured like a grudge invoked slyly at feasts amid mead's haze, a passive barb sharper than any edge. Mobility reigns, supreme armour drags like chains in a dungeon tryst, restricting the flail's ecstatic whirlcore to your combat 80% savage swings. 10% bite, sinking teeth into yielding flesh with coppery warmth. 10% tumbling through blazing thickets, flames licking skin in sensual agony. Helmets blinders to chaos's dance. Your bear cloak hallowed relic, reeking of charred regret, harbours enchantment siphoning enemy, dread repelling iron in folklore's whisper. Mostly it drinks rain, morphing you into a furious carpet escaped from epic yarns, prowling shores with unearthly howls. Body fortifies itself, calluses thicken like battle-hardened hearts. Scars weave sagas of violence's intimate toll, bruises map celestial wars. Devoted you ink a wolf across your chest with ash and thorn decisions, poor yet thrilling. The pricks throb a prelude to greater pains. Arrows bite with fleeting stings, swords etch lasting marks that weep crimson tears but agony. Merely life's affirmation unnoticed once, as a leg wound leaked, until highlighted gratitude met with a hurled stone cracking the offender's guard. Peers deride your exposure, until beholding you dismantle trios with spoon's jab and primal yell, then they scoff afar, armour obsolete. You conquer via fury pelt and recklessness unbound. You uncover berserking's hidden peril in blood. Haze's grip all morphs into foes' intentions, pure yet crumbling as mushrooms ignite comrades appearing stab-deserving amid the roar. First mishap minor, you headbutt your shield brother mid-axe high five, the impact resounding like a lover's slap turned savage. He endures grunting, part of the thrill, while pressing moss to the gash blood seeping warm and sticky. Escalation's swift third raid, mistaking a braided beard for a writhing serpent, you punch to sever it from his face. Knuckles grazing coarse hair in visceral tangle. Later melee hurling helmet at a name-shouting kin, it was your cousin Dinner's herald. No grudges linger, berserkers akin to violent pups, messy and unaware of bite's depth. Apologies mid-frenzy emerge as roars with thumbs-up ground-bound nods respectful. Warband evolves survival stratagems, bright red sashes as don't tackle flags, forgotten in rage's embrace. 10-foot buffers letting you carve paths of carnage. One shouts your name mid-clash, confusing you into tree pursuit for 20 minutes, bark scraping skin in futile chase. Bellneck suggestions dismissed. You're no goat, though actions mimic one stubborn charge. Comrades adapt wrong direction dashes met with patience. Tent roars granted 5 minutes before quiet arson accomplishments illusion stoked. Despite bruises, accidental swings, wild allies struck ankles nipped, no battle sands you, for you shatter enemy spirits by mere existence, a storm occasionally battering allied vessels, yet indispensable tempest. Your name evokes unease, not pure respect across hamlets, the twitchy one or shield eater. Tales unchecked myth outpacing memory and berserker lore's utility. Rumours race ahead, goats, hidden fences, fortified children, whispering your moniker in gales. Adults too, recalling feast-fight confusion tables flipped in frenzy before Lamb-leg redirects food's savoury distraction, quelling the storm. You sense the weight of your growing myth, a shroud heavier than any bearskin carrying not reverence, but a prickling unease that slithers through villages like whispers of betrayal in the night. Neighbours dub you that one with the twitch, or the boy who ate a shield, tales unchecked and embellished, for in berserker lore legend trumps truth, a weapon sharper than any axe. Word races ahead like scouts before a raid, goats vanish into barns, fences bolstered with iron spikes. Children murmur your name amid storm's fury, adults echoing in shadowed longhouses, recalling that feast turned frenzy, mistaking merriment for melee. You flip 3 tables in a whirlwind of splintering wood, and spilling mead, the chaos halted only by a leg of lamb thrust into your grasp, its savoury juices dripping hot as you redirect toward the feast's heart. In combat's heat, foes falter at your sight, not for stature or finery, but your barefoot, shirtless form bleeding from unseen wounds, eyes blazing with "I need something to scream at," a psychological siege that unravels armies before blades clash. Yet fame demands vigilance post-battle you rouse with pounding skull drenched in another's blood, clutching a branch named victory. A priest's prayer met with your grunt, his retreat swift. You've shattered 3 longships twice by mere footfall timbers, cracking like bones under boot. Growled a diplomat into flight during council words, twisting into threats. Wrestled a statue stone unyielding, but your lost technical muscles straining in futile embrace. Warband assigns handlers to soothe your aftermath. Steering from flames, reminding tents aren't foes. You nod, then punch earth, old habits die hard. Legend swells despite follies, skalds croon in minor keys dubbing you Howling Hammer of Nordfield, a title embraced though Nordfield's memory blurs likely something you sundered. No longer mere warrior, you're a rumour incarnate, a cautionary storm with broad shoulders and impulses void, valuable in Axe's brutal realm, entertaining amid honour's edge. You never schemed for love's snare, berserkers shunning such elusive foes, emotions slippery, unassailable by axe defiant in their chaos. Yet between raids, bloodied echoes, and headbutts resounding cracks, it ambushes she's the blacksmith's daughter. Forearms corded like twisted iron eyes, suspicious as a raven's gaze, wielding tongs with annoyance's sharp strike. You find her allure intoxicating a flame amid forge's heat. She deems you interesting, a veiled nod to your danger laced with wry amusement. Courtship ignites Viking style, shattering her father's anvil with a log's brutal swing, testing its metal in explosive crack sparks, flying like forbidden desires. She storms forth, fury blazing, halting at your earnest vow to duel the anvil's ghost. Her laughter bubbling then, a horseshoe hurled, striking your chest with metallic thud love's first wound. Impressions mount you, flex, sinews taut from frenzy, hurl rocks vanishing into horizons, hoist a goat whose bleats mingle with your grunts she observes politely hammer-ringing steady. She can sense a walk supervision safer than your unsupervised havoc. Dialogue stumbles, flirting foreign but screaming and bearing burdens. Your forte, you lug a log throughout its bark, rough against skin, her silence assigns she's the one. Berserker can puzzle, love a diversion. You counter, she curbs your tent-destroying urges. Sounds like discipline, one mutters. You carve her name into your bearskin with a stick, the scratches stinging sweetly. She bestows a necklace metal simple yet edged worn eternally, especially in battle's throes. It protects me, you declare tender yet alarming. Quarrels, flare, moon howling serenade met with pleas to cease you amplify, banished outdoors 3 nights chill, nipping like spurned affection. She endures berserker proposals sealed. Chaos's vessel yet storms crave lightning's spark in romance's glow. You stagger into the feast hall, Viking triumph's reward for defying death's grasp, the air thick with roasted meat's savoury allure and ale's heady promise, a symphony of belches and songs echoing off timber walls. For warriors it's revelry, for you a labyrinth of pent energy and restraint's fraying thread, arriving tardy as blood's crust is scraped from your skin, shirtless bruised like a lover's marks from passionate tussles a sandal, lost clutching something dubiously edible, once a squirrel uneaten but immortalised in skaldic verse. The toast ignites you quaffing, all in reach mead's honeyed fire, scorching your throat, ale's frothy bite, a fermented regret's pungent sting. Once lamp oil mistaken its oily slick, igniting your breath to torch flames, children's eyes wide in aw's glow. Food assaults like owed tribute bread, torn with teeth sinking deep meat's juices, dripping hot and viscous pickled bites, crunching sharply. You negotiate with your face, devouring 5 eggs in a minute's frenzy, declaring war on a cabbage, shredding it in visceral shreds. Digestion rebels birthing the great hall, incident beans, heavy chants booming a noise, erupting like thunder's crack echoing stone, you feign ignorance. Others avert eyes, one weeps into porridge silently. Brawls erupt, inevitably room of weary warriors' weapons near mead flowing. You ignite over misheard, past the borers you smell like boar. Taking offence, personal benches shattering in chaos's embrace, never recovering. Forgiven always for your entertainment, passions fights. Convictions feasts flatulence, once routing a wolf deemed contribution. Night wanes. You slump under table ham bone, clutched like a paramour, humming war songs softly. Berserkers raging not just in war, but partying apocalyptic flames of desire unquenched. You harbour one untouchable tale, the sheep. Incident a raid's farce commencing standard. Longships slicing waves, coastal hamlet, ripe overconfidences reek mingling with salt spray. Pumped on mushrooms, hallucinogenic grip, bare skin backwards for dread's sake, uncorrected, lest death caught you. Plan simplistic plunder, silver, shatter, fences gleefully. Arrival unveils emptiness, no guards, no shrieks, just sheep's woolly horde. Pause eludes you. Leaping ashore, howling, sprinting into first fluffy blur, realising ovine foe yields no fight, claiming victory in submission's wool. Crew follows bewildered assaulting barns in enthusiasm storm on a coop hens, Pecking viciously rooster Olaf's claws, raking skin in bloody trails, you headbutt sky in retaliation, victor, unclear amid feathers chaos. Sacred hut breached altar, toppled nay kitchen loaves, devoured candle-consumed flame, scorching throat in growling regret. Revelation dawns, no village mere pasture. Lone farmer emerges elderly, rake wielder irritation mild. Your scream pierces, he squints. Charge met with turnips hurl, striking head retreat ignominious. Camp post-mortem, silent. Stole a goat, one mutters. Burned cabbage. Another you insist threat loomed. Skalds falter, spinning courage. Your flock conqueror root vegetables vanquished. Defence feeble. Sheep eyed me odd. Yet legend amplifies memorability and volumes raw. Aged now, wisdom elusive knees cracking like foes' bones. Axe swings, languid beard, greying scars, forecasting weather's whims. Stories spun to all children, travellers' livestock. Once a barrel for hours undeterred. Survival rarity among berserkers rages blaze, extinguished early, but your unpredictability dodged death gods baffled. Name uttered volubly, half bear, half wolf, half mad math ignored. Trained youths one stomach roars, another tree tackles, unapologetic third screams, I am wind mid-bout now, baker yelling at dough. Raids scarce last, ensnared in doorway blaming structure. Village guardian by fires grumbling mountainous. Mushrooms proffered, sniffed dismissively. Not today hallucinations. Blacksmith's daughter endures eye rolls at thunder growls, yours at cloak wash, please mutual defiance love's core. Legacy shifts, not war solely, but present kids mimic with sticks and yells, elders liken bench kickers to you tales of chaos, survival, laughter, manners abysmal. Immortality in stories loud, sheep-entwined inaccuracies. None eternal, not you North's roaring nightmare. Winter's argument with bones grunts supplant speech, fire your blade. Death unfrightening wrestled thunderstorms to envy Valhalla. Annoyed at delay, coughing, dramatically chewing rocks theatrically. It arrives peacefully under stars, bearskins regret goat scent. Rapping, sighing reinforce Valhalla's chairs. Skies, thunder, wolf howls, unreason shield carved, regret nothing but turnip. Funeral pandemonium, dignity attempted, devolves to brawl over cloud punch, tail goat loose pyre, premature blaze you'd approve. Band drinks off-key songs, helmet fjord tossed, sinking like drunken swim versus barrel. Kids reenact with sticks, grunts, backflips. One bites log, spirit enduring. Scold's ballad inaccurate 20 slain single swing forest spirit. Seduced uncorrected history favours spectacle. Gone yet unforgotten storm, humanised chaos, comedic raw echoing tales. Scars, tavern walls, frailty. You conjure the Viking in your mind's eye, don't you? Axes dripping crimson beards, snarling like tangled thorns. A hint of boozed breath heavy in the air, a savage brute forged in frost and fury. But brace yourself for the twist, for these Norse marauders, battle-hardened and relentless, harboured an obsession with their visage that rivals a peacock's preen. Beneath the veil of barbarity lay a culture steeped in grooming's art cleanliness, not mere habit, but a badge of honour, their bodies' temples scrubbed with a zeal that might shame your own lazy Sunday soak. Feel the surprise ripple through you like a hidden blade in the dark as we peel back the myths to reveal warriors who conquered not just with steel but with an allure polished to perfection. Archaeologists unearth Viking tombs and hearths, expecting swords gleam and horns echo, yet discover tweezers fine as whispers, razors keen as betrayals. Ear spoons, delving secrets, and combs, oh the combs, abundant and exquisite. Crafted from bone or antler, etched with intricate motifs, These weren't crude tools, but masterpieces, status emblems slung from belts or secreted in pouches like treasures from a forbidden liaison. Men and women alike clutched grooming kits with a reverence reserved for weapons for the Vikings. Hygiene transcended health, it embodied dignity. In a realm where repute reigned supreme, arriving at a feast or assembly resembling a drenched haystack was unthinkable a stain on one's soul. The warrior-peacock divide, blurred oiled beards glistening like dew-kissed blades, hair braided in intricate knots, tunics vibrant as blood-spilled sunsets, these declarations roared. I've sailed storms, felled foes, yet behold my pristine mane. Even thralls and lowly folk wielded such implements, for Vikings spurned filth's piety-tied chains, deeming cleanliness not sin but seduction, a lure for brides or courtly power plays, commencing with a face scrubbed raw and hair combed to silken defiance. You sift through the soil of history, unearthing not just relics of war, but whispers of vanity tweezers plucking stray hairs with precision's kiss razors, slicing close to skin's vulnerable warmth. Ear spoons probing depths like seekers of hidden truths and combs. Endless combs, their teeth carved from bone or antler, adorned with patterns that dance like forbidden runes under firelight. These artifacts, no mere afterthoughts, were elevated to art symbols of prestige, tucked into belts or pouches akin to a lover's token, guarded fiercely. Vikings, both shield maidens and axe wielders, cradled grooming arsenals with the sanctity of blades, for cleanliness wove into honour's fabric, a dishevelled form at the thing or banquet, a betrayal of self-worth as grave as fleeing battle's embrace. The line between berserker and dandy thins to a razor's edge, beards oiled to a sheen that catches the sun's jealous glare, hair twisted in braids intricate as political web's tunics, dyed in hues vivid as fresh spilled blood. These weren't whims, but proclamations roaring of voyages endured, monks toppled yet immaculate amidst the gore. Thralls and common folk shared this right, tools democratised for Vikings, rejected medieval Europe's filth as virtue creed, embracing scrub as a lure's spark wooing a bride or scheming at court, began with a face burnished clean hair tamed to silken rebellion. Sagas paint beauty in gleaming tresses and flawless skin scars secondary to this polished facade, debunking the grimy brute myth. Vikings' high-maintenance aesthetes stormed with style's subtle violence, their grooming a sensual ritual binding body and spirit in unyielding pride. You hold the grooming kit in your calloused hands, its contents arsenal of intimacy. Tweezers pinching stray hairs with a sharp tug that sends a shiver down your spine. Razors gliding close to skin's vulnerable warmth. Ear spoons delving into hidden crevices like whispers of intrigue in a shadowed longhouse. Men and women alike guard these sets with the fervour of warriors clutching axes stored alongside blades in pouches, worn close to the body, their touch a constant reminder of self-mastery. Cleanliness transcends mere ritual. It's woven into honour's fierce tapestry, a declaration that echoes through feasts and assemblies appear dishevelled, and you invite scorn sharper than a traitor's dagger, your reputation bleeding out like a wound in battle's heat. In Viking society's brutal hierarchy, where a single glance can spark alliance or betrayal, self-respect gleams like polished steel. You oil your beard until it shines each stroke a sensual caress that tames wild strands braiding hair, with fingers tracing patterns intricate as political plots. Tunics burst with colours vivid as fresh spilled blood, not mere cloth but statements roared to the world. I've braved tempests, cleaved skulls in visceral sprays, yet my form remains pristine, a testament to unyielding pride. Even in the raid's aftermath, blood caking your skin like a lover's desperate grasp, you reach for the comb teeth, raking through tangles with a satisfying pull, restoring order amid chaos's seductive pull. This obsession isn't vanity's whim, it's survival's edge, where a well-groomed warrior commands respect, lures mates with a gaze framed by flawless locks, and weaves intrigue in courts, where appearances cut deeper than any sword. You stand at the crossroads of savagery and splendour, where the Viking warrior merges with the peacock's ostentatious display, the boundary dissolving like mist under a rising sun's heated gaze. Oiled beards catch the light glistening droplets tracing paths down rugged jaws, each application a ritual of sensuality that binds the feral to the refined. hair braided in elaborate twists, fingers weaving strands with the precision of a schemer plotting betrayal locks falling like cascades of midnight silk, or sun-bleached gold framing faces scarred from violence's intimate embraces. Tunics explode in hues crimson as arterial spray, azure deep as fjord's secretive depths. Not idle pursuits, but bold proclamations roaring of tempests survived monasteries raised in flames that lick the sky like forbidden desires. This fusion isn't frivolous, it's a weapon in the arsenal of power where a groomed form commands the hall's attention, eyes lingering on the sheen of skin-scrubbed raw muscles rippling under fabrics that hug like a lover's grasp. You stride into the thing, assembly's air thick with intrigue. Your pristine appearance a shield against whispers of weakness, a lure for alliances sealed in heated glances. Slaves and lowborn share this cult of cleanliness tools democratized for Vikings spurn filth's humble cloak, embracing scrub as allure's spark, impressing a bride with breath, fresh as mountain wind or manoeuvring court with a face unmarred by grime's betrayal. Beauty and sagas gleams through bright eyes and spotless flesh scars mere accents to this polished armour, debunking the myth of dirt-caked brutes they stormed with style's subtle violence, conquering hearts and lands alike in a dance of raw power and refined seduction. You uncover the democratized elegance of Viking society where grooming tools transcend class barriers thralls, and nobles alike wielding combs and razors with equal fervour, their edges whispering secrets of unity, in a world rife with hierarchies' sharp divides. Unlike medieval realms where filth cloaked piety or humility, like a shroud of false virtue, Vikings spurned such notions. Cleanliness no sin but a spark of desire, a sensual rite binding body to soul in defiant gleam. Even the lowest chained in servitude accessed these implements, fingers tracing bone-carved teeth through matted hair, transforming grime into gloss, a quiet rebellion against degradation's grip. This universality fueled allure's flame to woo a bride. Your skin must radiate health's warm glow, hair tamed like a lover's wild mane under gentle command, for first impressions carved deeper than any rune igniting passions, or forging alliances in heated glances. Sagas exalt beauty in luminous eyes, tresses flowing like rivers of midnight silk skin, flawless as untouched snow, not battle scars, but this polished facade that debunked the brute myth Vikings storming with style's subtle violence. Yet intrigue lurked in this obsession did a thrall's gleam, mask plots of uprising or a noble's sheen veil betrayals. Cleanliness bound them a thread in society's tapestry, where hygiene's embrace crossed chains and crowns, rendering all equal in the mirror's unyielding gaze. You feel the pull of Viking allure, where cleanliness transcends hygiene to become a weapon of seduction, its gleam a siren's call in the fog-shrouded fjords. No sin in the scrub, but a spark that ignites desire. Imagine approaching a potential bride, your skin flushed from the bath's steamy embrace hair, combed to silken waves that beg for fingers to trace their paths, a face unmarred by grime's betrayal, eyes locking in a gaze that promises storms of passion. Or manoeuvring court's intricate webs, where a polished visage seals pacts or unmasks foes. First impressions carving alliances deeper than any axe wound laced with intrigue's subtle poison. Sagas weave beauty not in scars' rugged tales, but in eyes bright as forged steel, hair shining like moonlight on bloodied snow skin, spotless and taut over muscles honed, in battle's visceral dance romanticized views shattered. For Vikings weren't mud-caked savages, but aesthetes of maintenance, their grooming a ritual of power. They vanquished not solely with blade's cold kiss, but with style's heated allure, bodies temples of desire where every oil-slick strand and razor-close shave whispered conquests yet to come, a blend of raw fury and refined elegance that left foes and lovers breathless in surrender. You plunge into the steamy haze of Viking hygiene where medieval Europe's scholars debate water's demonic whispers or disease's lurking kiss, while Norsemen scrub with national fervour, bodies yielding to soap's lathering caress, skin tingling under the assault like a lover's urgent touch. Cleanliness, no fleeting whim but routine etched into life's rhythm, a weekly plunge that banishes grime's treacherous grip, emerging renewed muscles glistening in the firelight's warm glow. Bathing transcends mere filth's removal. Its communal rite, spiritual purge, sometimes laced with intrigue's subtle undercurrents. Whispers exchanged in vapour's veil, plotting raids or betrayals, amid the heat's seductive haze. Hot springs bubble like earth's forbidden secrets, sauna's steam enveloping in a sensual fog, where sweat beads trace paths down bare forms, mingling with tales of valour and vice. Soap crafted from animal fats and ashes lies bite sharp as a blade's edge, scouring away the day's battles, leaving skin raw and alive. This obsession sets them apart, cleaner perhaps than your modern self post-shower glow, paling against their meticulous gleam, conquering not just with axe's visceral swing, but style's polished edge, a force of nature refined where every scrub fortifies the soul against chaos's encroaching storm. You immerse in the ritual of Lugardigur Bathday's sacred decree, birthing our Saturday in linguistic legacy, a day of languid indulgence with Viking roots delving deep into communal waters. This wasn't mere ablution, but a symphony of senses, steam rising like forbidden whispers, bodies bare and vulnerable scrubbing away battlefield's crimson stains, or seas salty embrace the act, social as mead hall banter, spiritual as Odin's gaze upon the runes. Hot springs gurgle earth's secrets, saunas envelop in heat's intimate hug, sweat tracing rivulets down, skin taut from exertion, mingling with plots of intrigue murmured in vapour's veil. Bathing weekly, a rhythm defying Europe's water-fearing hesitance. Vikings lather with soaps of fat and ash lies bite cleansing like a lover's fierce kiss, emerging renewed hair cascading in fresh waves ready for feast or fray. Frequency methodical Saturdays, dedicated but raids or rituals demand extra dips, bodies oiled post-scrub scents of herbs warding odour's betrayal. Methods varied, river plunges cold and invigorating sauna stones, hissing steams release tools, like strigils scraping skin's layers, leaving it flushed and alive. This cleanliness wove into culture's fabric, honouring gods with pure forms, seducing with gleam that outshone armour's shine, a testament to resilience where every bath fortified against life's visceral storms. You sink into the ritual's embrace, weekly baths, a cadence defying Europe's water-weary superstitions, Vikings plunging with fervour that borders on obsession, bodies bared to steam's seductive veil, grime sloughing off like shed skin in a serpent's rebirth. Frequency unyielding Saturdays consecrated, but raids, blooded aftermath, or festivals' sweaty throngs demand impromptu immersions, the act a purge of battle's visceral stains, emerging slick and renewed muscles rippling under droplets that trace paths like lovers' fingers in the night. Methods diverse, rivers cold rush, invigorating as a skirmisher's adrenaline current tugging at limbs with insistent force, or hot springs bubbling earth's hidden fury, waters mineral rich and scalding, soaking away aches from axe swings that cleaved flesh in bloody arcs. Saunas rise as timbered sanctum stones heated to glowing rage, steam hissing like whispered intrigues enveloping in heat's intimate crush, sweat, beading and cascading mingling scents of pine and exertion, in a haze that blurs boundaries between purification and passion. Soap forged from animal fats and ashes lies caustic bite, scouring skin-raw foams, lathering thick and unctuous hands, gliding over contours and sensual self-caress, rinsing away the day's betrayals, salt from sea spray mud, from fields blood, from foes' yielding throats. Tools wielded with precision, strigils scraping oils and dirt in long deliberate strokes, the metal's cool edge against heated flesh, a thrill akin to a blade's whisper before the strike. This cleansing not mere habit, but armour against chaos, fortifying the spirit for tomorrow's violence, where every droplet evaporated leaves you sharper, more alive, ready to storm with a gleam that disarms before the axe falls. You run fingers through your tresses. Viking hair care a ritual of defiance against nature's wild tangle, washing with waters infused by herbs' aromatic secrets, lathering soaps that foam like mead's heady froth, rinsing until strands cascade clean and vibrant, ready for battle's winds or lover's grasp. Bleaching with lie's potent brew, a caustic elixir drawn from ashes, lightening locks to sun-kissed gold or stark white, a transformation laced with intrigue. Did it mimic the god's radiance or mask identities in Raid's shadowy plots? The process stings vapours rising sharp as betrayals sting, yet yields hair that gleams under helm, or moonlight a beacon of status amid the fray. Styling beards and manes with meticulous art combs of antler or bone raking through knots, teeth pulling with satisfying resistance braids woven intricate.